Hi everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at y-intercepts and slope-intercept form. So your goal after watching this video should be able to identify y-intercepts by looking at a graph and also to be able to put an equation in slope-intercept form using its slope and its y-intercept. So two things that we're looking at today. Well, let's start off with a real-life example. So true story here. Last year I won my fantasy league and I averaged 120 points each week. And then second, this year, off to a bit of a slow start through these first 3 weeks, haven't put up the points that I'd want to, some injuries. So seeing that I got 90 points the first week, 180 points total after the second week, and 270 after the third week. So after watching today's video, we want to be able to look back at this and see which year was I doing better. So I'm off to a slow start, but is my slow start better or worse than my championship team from last year? So that's going to be our goal. We're going to take a look back at this at the end. But with that being said, let's jump into our words for today. So first starting off, let's go with y-intercept. And this is going to be the point where the graph intersects the y-axis. All right, so again, if we're taking a look at this here, and we're drawing a line, we're going to see the y-intercept is exactly where we cross the up and down or the vertical axis. So that is a real-life intersection there. I like to think about it in word problems as kind of like the starting point. So where is your line starting? Most times it's going to be where x equals 0 or on our y-axis. So if you're looking at an ordered pair for y-intercept, it's always going to be 0, something. And that something, that y value is going to be your intercept. Because here, x equals 0, and we're just looking for where are we on that axis. All right. Our second definition for today is going to be slope-intercept form. And this is defined as the equation of a line using m to represent slope and b to represent the y-intercept. So we spent a whole lesson and a whole video talking about solving for slope, so that's going to be our m value. And today, thinking about y-intercepts are our starting point, that's going to be our b value. So we write this in slope-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. And again, if we're talking about a real-life example, let's say, for instance, m is 2 and b is -4. So we cross our y-axis at -4, somewhere down here, and we go up and over by 2. For this line, we're going to say that the equation in slope-intercept form is 2x minus 4. Again, here is my m, and here's our b. All right, so let's take a look at some examples for both of these things here, and we'll go one at a time. So starting off, write an equation in slope-intercept form if we have a, oh, just kicked me out there. In slope-intercept form if we have a slope of -4 and a y-intercept of 1. All right, so m equals -4 and b equals +1. So we have y equals mx plus b. So m here is going to be -4 and b equals +1. So let's do the same thing down here. They're trying to trick us. So again, we have a slope of 5 and we have a point at 0, 8. Remember, y-intercept comes when x equals 0, and in this case, x does equal 0. So we have a b value of -8. All right. So those are the two equations that we have. And that's how we answer when they give us the slope and the intercept. So most times not going to be that easy. We might have to do some calculations of slope or do some calculations or finding of the y-intercept, but this is the most basic form of these examples to make sure that we have this very clear, the order that they go in. All right, so let's take a look at a slightly more difficult example here. And I want to make sure I'm on the right one. So sometimes you also might see where they give you an equation and your goal is to get it into y equals mx plus b form. Well, we can still use the idea of our algebraic balance to do this. Our goal is just to get y by itself. So you might have to do some algebra solving, and again, your goal is to keep y on one side alone. So we might have to take that 5x and move it over. So bring our negative y down. We'll have negative 5x and positive 12. Again, not like terms, so we won't add them together. And then our last piece, we do need it to just be y. So we'll divide both sides by negative 1, and we'll get y equals 5x minus 12. So again, doing some algebraic solving, being careful of like terms, but our goal for all of these equations is to get y equals something times x plus something. And again, a couple of steps to do that, so I'll do another one here for clarity. We have x and y on that left side. Let's move that x over, and we'll get y equals 8x plus 16. So there we go. There is another equation, y equals mx plus b form. So for the remainder of these, keep doing that same thing. Get that y equals mx plus b form. And that's going to help you out to basically solve and also to be able to graph these after. All right, a final type of example question that we want to go over today is the instance where we have to do some solving. So here we have two ordered pairs, and it's going to be our job to take these two ordered pairs and to be able to solve. So two things that we're going to have to do is first, let's calculate slope. And then second, we're going to have to take this slope and to trace, using some of these points, where we are actually going to be able to have that y-intercept, where x equals 0. So to start off on top here, let's find that slope first. So get negative 9 over negative 6, or just 3 over 2 if we divide those together. And we're going to have to use that as our rise over run to be able to go from a point like negative 2 comma 0 and find where do we actually cross our y-axis. So again, we start off at negative 2 comma 0. Let's use our definition of rise over run. So we go up 1, 2, 3. We go over by 2. And we'll actually see here we just found our y-intercept. So by going up and over, we're going to see that we're at 0 comma 3. So sometimes you might have to solve for that intercept using the points and the slope that they give you. But again, with a little bit of work and some organization, we'll be able to find that y equals mx plus b form. So a challenge example here, and these ones do get a little bit difficult, but if we keep our organization and we keep finding our slope, we'll be in good shape. All right, so let's finish up the rest of the questions here. As always, any questions, let me know. Feel free to reach out. And finally, let's take a look back here at our starting point. So we're seeing, if we're looking at this table, a slope of m equals 90. Here our slope is m equals 20. So last year I was better. This year, not off to a great start. So again, a real life application of slope, a great place to compare. Putting those in y equals mx plus b form in that case would help us out. As always, reach out with any questions. That's our lesson for today. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you in class very soon.